Everyone, and welcome back to my morning report analysis videos on Thursday 26th of October with me, Rich Market Analyst at Hantec Markets. My final chart of the day is gold, and gold has engaged in a little bit of a rally as the dollar has weakened. Nothing too significant. It's just picked up off the 1270 spot 60 level. It has arguably broken that downtrend. This little downtrend that we've seen has been broken. You can see that more on the hourly chart, where we sort of rallied up, but you can see this overhead supply of these old pivot levels still intact. 1284 and 1290, 1291 being the resistance, but on that what was that, the 19th of October, but the those pivot levels are still intact, so it still suggests, I think, rallies are being sold into. You've got the momentum indicators, which RSI is still failing around that 64, 65 level. So configured still negatively on the hourly momentum, and I think ultimately it sort of does muddy the water a little bit, this break of the downtrend, but you're still sort of probably going to be tracking lower. I don't think necessarily that the selling pressure is decisive. Certainly not in the near term, having sort of consolidated for the last few days. We might get a little bit more of an idea of how this one's going to move in the wake of the ECB today. Obviously, if the ECB doesn't, if the ECB sort of hangs back a little bit and sort of tapers more than expected, that's arguably, I suppose, less dovish by another major central bank. So that could weaken the gold price on the back of that, but certainly the support is sort of on the near-term basis coming in at 1270. So if that continues to hold, then the gold price will be looking a bit more positive, and that little downtrend that we've seen that's been broken would be seeing a confirmed break. But the momentum indicator is still sort of edging lower without being decisive to the downside, although those stochastics are sort of falling strongest out of the three that I do look at. But yeah, it's sort of a fairly sort of middle of the road outlook. It could start to sort of develop if this little downtrend does hold the trend break. But I think there could be a bit more of a strengthening, a stronger, more decisive move in the wake of the ECB decision this afternoon, as this sort of move of, say, 14 bucks sideways sort of range of the last few days sort of starts to sort of be resolved. Yeah, the overhead resistance 1284, 1290, and obviously the big long-term levels of 1300 to 1310. And on the downside, you're looking at 1270, 60, and 1260 as your key lows near term. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I'll speak to you later.